Interviews with the best in their fields, teaching you how to excel in careers that don't require traditional college. You're listening to the College Alternative Podcast. Insider tips and advice, straight from the experts. And now, here is your host, James Christian.
So thanks, guys, for tuning into the College Alternative Podcast. Today's episode is number 11, and we're talking with Gary Stiles. He's one of the educational managers for the Motorcycle Mechanics Institute, which is a program that the Universal Technical Institute puts on in Phoenix, Arizona. So today he's going to be talking about how to get into his program, what the program is all about, and what that is going to do in terms of providing opportunities for employment, hiring, starting your own business, etc. So if any of you guys are interested in working on bikes as a professional career, this is the episode for you. So hello and welcome to the College Alternative Podcast. Today we have Gary Stiles with us, and he is the education manager for the Motorcycle Mechanics Institute, and that is a sub-program for Universal Technical Institute based out of Phoenix. How you doing, Gary?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Well, why don't you go a little bit into the background of who you are and what you do for UTI?
So I am an education manager here at the MMI campus in Phoenix. I was an instructor for about 10 years. I've been with the company for 13 years. I am a graduate. I attended MMI in the early 90s after working couple dead-end jobs and just not really following my passion. You know, I worked to have a paycheck, but I didn't really know what my passion, that it could be a career. So I had tinkered with motorcycles since I was a small kid, and saw the commercial one night and called the school. And from the moment I walked in the door, I realized that this is what I was going to do for the rest of my life.
Nice. I think a lot of people are like that, you know. They don't exactly know what hey, get a job and stay in that job for the next, 25, 30, 40 years. And
right. I mean, I meandered through high school, never really having much focus, attempted college a few times. And once again, there was just nothing that grabbed my passion, and everything kept leading back to, I had a love for motorcycles. And so every job I had was to figure out a way to buy motorcycles, fix them up, go race them, whatever I could do to be around bikes. And so I had that epiphany. It was like, wow, I really should do this for a living. And this is the place that can help me get there. And it did. It was, as soon as I walked in the door, like I said, I began to thrive and realized that I should have paid more attention in high school. And
like all of us.
Right.
You need to go back to your 14-year-old self and be like, hey, we need to have a little bit of a talk here.
And that's truly my only regret, is that I didn't do it sooner.
Yeah.
Is that I didn't do it right out of high school, because, like I said, I just kept focusing on the money and just trying to find the jobs that paid the most money, but they were just soulless. And they made me, and I continued to convince myself that if I went back to school, I would find something. But all along, I really just wished I'd gone right out of high school, right into MMI, because I would have been much further along and doing what I love to do.
Yeah. Okay. So, as you're an educational manager, so what does that mean? What do you do specifically?
So I oversee a staff of about 50 instructors.
Okay.
Right now we have about 900 students on campus, on just this campus.
Wow.
And so my job is really to help the instructors, be able to provide the best education they can, create a good class environment, and I also help the students succeed. Try to help the students get the best outcomes and continue on their career path. So I'm really here just to, for guidance, to help in any way I can, and to just make sure things go smoothly. And if we have challenges, I can help them find ways to get around those challenges so that they can achieve what they want and get into the career that they're looking for.
Okay, so you're the facilitator of the program.
Essentially, I'm not the only education manager here. Okay. I oversee a couple of programs. I oversee the Kawasaki and Suzuki program. Which are just a couple of manufacturers that we train to here on campus. So I have a portion of the staff and the students that I really work with directly, but in general, I work with all of the staff and students. Anytime, like I say, there's challenges or opportunities to make the teaching better, that's my job, is to just continue to push that forward to make this the right career choice for the people that come here.
Nice. So looking at from the 40,000 foot view here, UTI, for those people that don't know what UTI is, can you kind of go into just the general aspect of what the school is?
Sure. We have 12 campuses nationwide. The campuses include automotive training. We have about 30 industry partners.
Nice.
So we have endorsements from all the major manufacturers. So we teach on the campuses. We teach automotive, obviously motorcycle. We teach marine. We have NASCAR courses. So we really encompass, the core, the DNA of our company is transportation and training jobs for the transportation industry.
Okay.
So that's really what we do as a company. And each of the campuses has, some specific programs. But the automotive campuses primarily focus on the ASE training and certifications within those manufacturers. If you went on the website, you could see the manufacturers, but really all the major manufacturers, we have endorsed programs through them. And the same here on the motorcycle campus. All the major motorcycle manufacturers have endorsed programs right here on campus.
And that's what makes you guys so unique, is the fact that all these manufacturers have come to you and said, hey, we want you guys to train these guys, these men and women, on our specific vehicles and motorcycles for us, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's nothing like it in the world. No, there's no other transportation school that has as many endorsements and as many programs directly linked with the OEMs and the manufacturers as MMI and UTI.
Nice. Okay, so you essentially are getting the latest and greatest. You're training on the latest and greatest vehicles, motorcycles, anything new that's coming out. You're jumping on top of that and making sure your students are up to date with the repair work for those vehicles and maintenance.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Our curriculum department works hand in hand with our manufacturers. Our curriculum is developed with our manufacturers, and the equipment that we have, the technologies that we teach are all up to date and current. The manufacturers work really hard to make sure that our curriculum is current and that the students are getting the latest hands-on and technical information, so that when they go into the field, they're prepared to see the automobiles, marine, motorcycles, everything that's coming out right now. Just an example, there are 2017 models that are coming out, and we're already receiving the tech on those models.
Nice.
We're receiving some of the units from the manufacturers directly, so we are very up to date.
Nice. Good. Awesome. So focusing in on motorcycle technician training program that you run here.
Yes.
Why don't you talk a little bit more specifically about that? What it does, what do you guys focus in on? Just all that sort of stuff.
Okay, so the programs vary from 48 weeks to up to as much as about 112 weeks,
Okay.
depending on which manufacturers you take. Our core program, the core program really takes somebody who could come in with really almost no mechanical knowledge. And I mean that we start everybody off at the same level, and the students come in and they learn the basics of internal combustion theory. They learn about the components of motorcycles, and they go through a core program that's about 36 weeks, which is our motorcycle core program. And we start off with a theory class, and we move through into precision measurement, tires and wheels, basic electrical and advanced electrical, engines and drivetrains, and then continue on to basically give them a solid core understanding of all the components and everything that goes along with repairing and servicing motorcycles.
Okay. Okay.
Once they complete that core course, then they have the option to select a number of electives, which are the manufacturer electives. And those are specific to each manufacturer. And they're going to go, those are going to vary in length from 12 weeks up to 36 weeks, depending on the manufacturer. And those are going to be very specific hands-on training to that manufacturer's entire product line.
Nice. Okay, so in essence, you're getting a core program, you're getting everybody on the same page, right? And for guys, unfortunately, like myself, who, just never really had that experience as a, a high school student to really work on cars.
Right.
I've got my baseline here, and now I can expand and grow into my select field that I want to get into. Is that
exactly?
What okay, awesome.
Yeah, and we literally have students that walk in the door, and in theory they tell us, I've never really even picked up a screwdriver.
No.
So we're really here.
I'm not that bad, but
right. But I mean, we're here to make sure that if this is a passion, if somebody has a passion for this, that we've got the facilities and the trained instructors to get everybody to that level where they're able to work on all of the different motorsports that we have here, because it's not just motorcycles. We have watercraft, ATVs, side-by-sides, generators. So they really get hands-on a big variety of product.
Nice. So you get guys comfortable from the get-go. If they're a little maybe not necessarily nervous, but they're a little wishy-washy about the fact that I don't know, I've never tried this before. You get them on that ground level. You essentially hold their hand initially, saying, "Hey, you guys can do this, and we'll show you how." That's
absolutely.
That's
nice. We have tutoring available for anybody that feels like they just need that little extra because they maybe their dad didn't wrench in the garage, or they didn't grow up in a family that spent time tinkering with the toys in the garage. Yeah. These guys still have the opportunity to gain that knowledge and gain that confidence to get on par with the other students that might have a little leg up. And the students are also a great resource too. Guys team up, they study together, they help tutor each other.
Nice.
You've seen it everywhere else in the motorcycle world. The camaraderie, with people that love motorsports it's kind of like nothing else. If you've ever seen a bike rally or anything like that, these guys are here. Yeah, it's really like you're part of a family. So the guys really help out, and the students are great resources for just helping other students. But we also have some great instructional staff, and we have programs to ensure that nobody falls through the cracks, and tutoring is available for everybody.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been to the Sturgis rally before, so I know the I know the camaraderie there.
And it's that same attitude. You see somebody on the side of the road with a flat, and people are constantly pulling over, just, hey, do you have what you need? And it's the same thing here. When someone's in a classroom and they befriend other students, they're always like, hey, do you need help studying this? Maybe you don't really, somebody struggling with like carburation, and the guys literally will get together, at a Denny's after school and go over stuff and help their buddies get up to snuff. And like I said, we also have instructors that are always available for tutoring as well.
Awesome. So getting into specifics here, I mean, just do you guys have homework? Do you guys work on weekends, or is it just a Monday through Friday program? What's with all that?
The classes are 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday. We have 2 shifts available. We have a morning shift that runs from 7 a.m. till about noon, and then we have an afternoon shift that runs from 1 to 6 p.m. Okay. So there are 2 shifts available. Like I said, we do 5 hour a day shifts, Monday through Friday, so there's no class on the weekends. The students do have some self-study programs that they work on, so that they can do that. They can do that at home. They can come in before and after class. We have a computer room, a resource center where they can get together and study and utilize some of the video training that's available through the manufacturers. So there is some work outside of class.
Okay.
But the bulk of the teaching and the hands-on are done during the class time.
Okay. And then it's just essentially self-study time afterwards that drive to, hey, I didn't exactly get it in class, so I need to go over, that carburetor portion afterwards.
Yeah, there are materials that the students go home with that they can review. And one of the great things about that is that it generates questions. So they go and they look at the material and they highlight stuff maybe they don't understand. They come in the next day and they're able to talk to the instructor about it. And again, just continue to grow that knowledge of the product and understand how all the components work.
Okay, nice. And then cost here. So that core program, is that a set price? And then as you pick and choose elections, it kind of tacks on additional pricing to
It is.
tuition?
It is. So the tuition can range anywhere from about $21,000, and then it can go up from there, depending on the number of electives you take. We do require that you take one elective.
Okay, so
at least at least one
at least one. Okay.
And like I said, the electives run from 12 weeks to 36 weeks. So depending on what your interest is, a lot of the students will choose to take more than one elective.
Okay.
And probably for obvious reasons, going out and looking at the motorsports industry, most of the shops nowadays are multi-line. It's almost rare to see a shop that just only carries one manufacturer. So the students recognize that, and we have data to show that if you take more than one elective, you're more hireable.
Okay.
So that's something to keep in mind. I always use the analogy: if you're going to culinary school, you wouldn't just say, "Teach me how to teach me how to cook Italian food," and nothing else.
Teach me how to saute. Like that. That's it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So we have a lot of students. The bulk of our students are going to take multiple electives, and they, and it's real easy for these guys that have played with bikes or been around bikes that have a passion for this. They kind of know what brands they really love to play with and work on. So that's typically a driving factor. And then there's also, depending on geographically where they're going to end up is also another determination, because we have some manufacturers that are primarily motorcycles. We have manufacturers that make, for instance, Yamaha makes snowmobiles and watercraft. A company like Kawasaki has a big line of side-by-sides and utility vehicles that are sometimes used in the farm or for recreation. So some of these students come in and they say, "Hey, I'm going to go back and there's water. I live in Florida. I'm going to be near the water, so I'd really like to take an elective where they're going to cover watercraft." So that's sometimes the determining factor in what courses they choose as well.
Okay. And is there spillover, let's say, between Suzuki and Yamaha? Once you get one, you kind of you've got that leg up as far as
the thing is, each manufacturer. When we go through the core program, we're going to work on all the manufactured products. Okay. So in the 36-week core program, they're exposed to all of the manufacturers that we have here on campus. When they do take an elective, it is very specific to that manufacturer, and each manufacturer has different ways of doing things. Okay. So to say that if you took a Suzuki course, you'd be able to walk into a Yamaha shop and be hands-on first day might be a little bit of an overstatement. It's very advantageous to have the manufacturer-specific training, because it gives you the ability to navigate through the differences in their service manuals, their service procedures, and the differences in their product line. So,
but as far as jumping from Yamaha elective and then I want to take a Suzuki elective next, right? Taking course A and then take course B. Course B, it'll help me that I've already taken course.
And that's true. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I maybe I misunderstood your question. Okay. Yeah, but no worries. When for many years I taught the Kawasaki elective, and when I had a student that had already taken something like a Honda course and maybe a Suzuki course before they got to the Kawasaki course, probably the biggest thing I noticed was confidence. With each course they gain confidence. They do gain understanding of how the systems work. So they do have a leg up over somebody who may have only maybe this is their first course. Okay. And so that in itself really shows that working with different manufacturers, it builds your confidence, it builds your knowledge,
and it makes you more marketable. Yeah.
Absolutely, it definitely makes you more desirable when you go out in the job market. But it does build. I see the difference in the confidence and the skill levels. Nice. With each elective they take, become much more confident, much more solid in their abilities.
Okay. And does the Motorcycle Mechanic Institute, is that only in Phoenix, or do you guys offer that at various locations around the United States?
So we have another Motorcycle Mechanics Institute campus in Orlando, Florida. Okay. And that is connected to a UTI campus, an automotive campus, as well as our marine campus.
Oh, cool.
That's a separate program. As I mentioned, we do work on watercraft here, but we have a marine program where the students are going to work on inboard, outboard. It's basically solely focused on the marine products. So if someone was interested in going that direction, that might be a better route for them.
Okay, cool. And then, do you guys offer on-campus housing like a traditional college, or do
We
people
do
have
not.
to find their own housing?
Well, we have collegiate housing assistants here on campus. So
Okay.
we have full-time staff members that work with our students and work with local providers, apartments and leasing agents and just homeowners that will put their homes into the rental pool. So we do have full-time people here. The students are contacted before they even arrive here to arrange housing, and then when they get here, the collegiate housing is here to help them and
Okay.
ensure that they have a place to stay. So if someone's coming out and they don't necessarily want to just rent their own apartment, we can put them together with roommates.
Oh, okay. So you
Save
do
them a little
provide
bit of money.
assistance. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Our collegiate housing department is, like I say, they're here full time, and that's their sole job is to make sure that the students have a place to stay while they're students here. So, but we don't actually have dorms or on-campus housing. But there are apartments literally right across the street from the campus. So a lot of students live in the neighborhood and just walk or bike to school.
Okay. So there are housing options at every location as far as location and distance to you guys, and you probably keep a record and track of all those options. But you don't have, so a high school student isn't going to have the option of a traditional dorm, which can be a good and a bad thing.
Correct. We're gonna have something similar to that, in that we have, like I say, we have apartment buildings that we work with, and we can put multiple students together to share an apartment.
Okay.
So our housing department works with each of the students to make sure they get comfortable and find what they need for their housing.
Awesome. Okay. So get that stress out of the way.
Yeah.
To find yourself a house. Awesome. And then as far as skill sets, what are they, any specific skill sets these guys are going to be walking away with after graduating from your program? They're going to be able to, essentially tear down an entire bike, figure out what the problem is, and put it all back together, right?
So we train the technicians with the primary goal of being ready for an entry-level job in the motorcycle industry, in the motorsports industry. While they're here, they're going to go through all of the systems. They're going to disassemble motors. They're going to work on transmissions. They're going to learn how to work on brake systems, all the electrical systems, troubleshooting, diagnostic, as well as replacing components. So it's very comprehensive.
Uh-huh.
And anybody that leaves here would be able to go into a shop and take an entry-level position and be prepared for the jobs that they're asked to do from day one.
Nice. Okay, good. And so what makes your program at UTI unique compared to any other motorcycle repair program offered in the United States?
Well, once again, the biggest thing that makes us unique is our partnerships with the manufacturers and the OEMs.
Okay.
There's nothing like that, and we have, here at the MMI campus, we have partnerships with Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Harley Davidson, BMW, and KTM. There's really nothing like that anywhere.
Okay.
There are schools that get assistance from some of the manufacturers, but the actual endorsed programs, you come out of here with certifications and a level of training that you just can't get anywhere else. And just to give you an example, a lot of the manufacturers will provide training to their dealerships.
Okay.
The technicians can go back for additional training.
Yeah.
Some of these these courses are taught throughout the year to get the same level of training that we can do here. It could take you years and years and years, because the manufacturers sometimes only offer these courses for 1 or 2 weeks out of the year, and your shop has to cut you away. You leave the shop, you go to a training center, you get a week of training. It could take you 10 years to get what we can do in 36 weeks right here with the same equipment, the same curriculum, that kind of core training. So that's what really makes us unique, is the manufacturer endorsed training and that condensed time with hands-on training that you really can't get anywhere else.
Nice. And then how hard is your program? I guess looking at graduation rates, do you have kind of percentages on that? Do most people graduate, or talk to you about the level of difficulty that they're taking on here?
One of the things we pride ourselves in is how hard we work to make sure the students achieve. So when they have difficulties, whether it be academic or financial or stuff going on in their personal life, we have a really, really broad range of safety nets to make sure that the students succeed and continue forward, whether it be emergency grants, like I said, tutoring, counseling. We really work hard. The graduation rates vary from campus to campus.
Okay.
So I can't give you an actual specific number, company-wide.
Yeah.
That varies, but our graduation rates are very, very good. And like I said, we really, really focus on ensuring that the students don't come up on the first roadblock they hit knocks them out of school.
Yeah, exactly. Like that test number 1 is like the hardest, and if you don't pass this,
Right.
you're done. You're done.
Right.
It's not like that. You're providing tutoring and training for these guys. Okay.
Absolutely. We've been doing this for a long time, and we've seen the challenges that the students face, whether it be financial or outside influences, and we've really built our safety net around that. So our student services department, our financial aid departments are really kind of prepared for almost any scenario.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
in a lot of cases, we have tried and true methods to help the students continue and kind of circumvent these bumps in the road to make sure that they can continue on the path to the career that they've chosen.
Okay, cool. How many times a year do you guys offer this class? Is it like a traditional academic year where you have?
Sorry.
No worries. Is it? Let me make sure.
Yeah, my battery on my battery's getting low.
Okay. Sorry. How many times a year do you guys offer this class? Is it twice a year, once a semester, or throughout the entire year?
We run on a rotating schedule, and we start every 6 weeks.
Okay.
So we have a class that starts every 6 weeks, and then the students continue. Most of the programs are 3 to 6 weeks in length. So the students will start every 6 weeks, and they'll continue to rotate through that. We don't have a summer or winter break. We are closed from the week between Christmas and New Year's, but that's essentially the only time the school is closed other than the national holidays.
Nice. Okay. So awesome. So you don't have to wait several months to get into one of your programs.
Not necessarily, depending on availability.
Yeah.
We do limit the sizes of classes, so some start dates may fill up.
Faster
Typically
than others. Yeah. Okay.
Towards the end of when we have graduations, when the students graduate from high school, those classes fill up pretty quickly. And then at the end of summer, when a lot of students return to school, those classes fill up. So those are the peaks. And then the classes that are probably the easiest to kind of schedule and get in right away are the ones, during the winter time and in between, kind of the middle of the summer when a lot of people are vacationing. Those classes typically have a little more availability.
Okay, well that's good to know. And then how far out should you be applying? What's the application process?
The application process goes pretty quickly. Obviously, one of the things that a lot of students will do is we have students that will use their GI Bills or apply for financial aid to help out. So that's something that can take a little bit of time, but typically not a huge time frame, just to figure out how they're going to pay for the school, and then determine, once again, we have people come from all over the country, so just figuring out where they're going to live. It's not unusual for students to look about 60 days out, but we've had students that have that are kind of prepared and ready to move and have kind of done a little homework, and they can sign up and start in as little as 30 days.
Okay.
And some students just decide when they want to start, and maybe that could be as much as 6-8 months out, so they can prepare financially and geographically be ready to make the move. So it really varies pretty dramatically, but
yeah, that does sound like it. So some guys are submitting applications to your program 6 to 8 months out, and some are getting kind of lucky and able to get into your class a month out. Okay.
Yeah, and some of that's preparation, and some of it's, like I say, just availability and the ability to just kind of to pack up and just kind of leave for school. There are several people that are in that position. Some people have families. Our student body varies widely. It's not just people coming out of high school looking for a first career. We definitely have people that are second or even third career. So the age ranges vary dramatically. And, once again, we have single people out of high school. We have people with families. So it's really quite an eclectic mix of people that are all just have this one singular passion for, motorcycles and motorsports.
That's not a bad thing either, whether you're high school or you've got, hooking up with, a veteran who's in his late 20s or 30s. You can have that mentor almost, or a buddy that maybe has a little more life experience to help you out too. Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, we really encourage those guys to help with the younger students, and not just academically, but as mentors, and life coaches. And it's an unusual environment, because in college you're typically surrounded by people in your own peer group, your own age, and this you really get exposed. You get exposed to people that have been out there and have had careers and have made mistakes and learned life lessons, and that's a great experience too for some of the younger students to see that it's never too late to go after what you love and really do what you love, so you never end up working a day in your life.
Well, that's definitely a more unique experience that a lot of high school students that go directly to college don't receive, is that kind of, they're essentially college is a bubble for them a lot of times, for life experiences.
It is, and this.
Yeah, no, go for it.
It's an eye opener.
Yeah,
it's an eye opener for some of the students that are away from their first time. But it's once again, you're really surrounded by like-minded people. Everybody here has that same passion and love. So it's more like a club than a school. It really is. It really is a great place, and we have students that just stand outside in front of the doors waiting for the door. They can't wait to be here. And I know I was like that. My love for motorcycles just is unbounding, and every day I wake up and I can't wait to see what we're going to do, and that see what kind of new bikes and new technologies we can learn about.
So what are you looking for in an applicant? Are there any specific skill sets that somebody needs to sort of check the box off of already before getting into your program?
So like I said, as far as the technical skills, we start everybody off at the ground level, so we don't have any expectations there.
Okay.
We do require a GED.
Okay.
And so, that's the actual, probably the only physical requirement is a GED. But once again, if your mechanical aptitude is not that would, something that you would expect someone going to mechanic school, that shouldn't preclude you from coming here, because really a lot of that can be taught.
Okay. And is there anything specific that people can start putting down, like volunteer work or good grades, or is there anything that you look for specifically on an application, or you just sort of look at the person as a whole for
really more than anything, it's their desire to make this a career path,
Okay. So somehow demonstrate that.
Right. It's just if this is something that you're passionate about, you're going to succeed. If you're doing this because your parents are forcing you to get out of the house, and
do.
Right, they couldn't convince you. You might struggle if you don't have that passion and focus. Just like anything in life, if you're just meandering around and you're doing it to kill time, you're probably not going to be the most successful. And that's why we always tell everybody, find something that you're passionate about. We have so many different programs in the transportation industry, and we know that everybody here is really primarily here because of their love of motorcycles and watercraft and ATVs, and so that's really the driving factors. If you have a love for this, you're going to succeed. Mm-hmm. We have the tools, regardless of your aptitude. We have the tools to help you get to that point where you can go out and have a career in this.
Okay, cool. And then you touched briefly on financial aid a little bit, or GI Bill as well. Could you go a little bit into that? You guys have a financial aid office that kind of helps people with that, or are there scholarships out there? Yes,
we're an accredited school, so there are scholarships. There is Title IV funding, and most any of the loans that you could get for an accredited school would be available. So there are several funding sources. And each individual is obviously going to have a little bit different path that they take. Mm-hmm. Programs and, like I say, scholarships and funding. So there are actually dozens of sources to come up with the tuition.
Okay. And your school helps with that a little bit, at least providing information on that.
Oh, absolutely. No,
Awesome.
we have a full-time staff of people in the financial aid department to help the students determine what's the best course for them, to help pay for the schools and make sure that they're stable while they're here, so they don't get here, take a couple classes, and find out they're just completely out of money. As well as we have an employment services department that helps with local employment while the students are here.
Okay,
as
nice.
well as
Very
as
nice.
postgraduate employment.
Okay, awesome. So some guys that are able to find have the experience are able to get hooked up into shops, so they're able to have a source of income while they're going to your school.
Absolutely, and it's not just in local motorcycle shops. Our actual local employment works with hundreds of local employers in the area around all of the campuses.
Okay.
And we hold job fairs on campus on a regular basis. So employers actually come to us as a source for employers on a pretty consistent basis. So there's several options for a student that's working while they're going to school. And like I said, our department helps them to find local employment if they need income while they're going to school here. And there are, some of those jobs are in the motorsports industry and some are outside of the motorsports industry, just due to the flexibility of hours, the ability to kind of work and go to school full time.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. You offer it five hours a day, and you've got a morning shift and an A shift and a B shift almost.
Right.
Guys. Okay. Awesome.
So that gives people the ability to work a morning job or go to the morning class and then work all afternoon if they need to.
Yeah. I gotcha. Okay. So talking about employment afterwards, student graduates, he has his accreditation or certification in a specific field. Are you finding that guys go and flow directly into dealerships, or are they starting up their own shops? What are you finding most students go into?
It actually varies quite a bit.
Okay.
We have people going into taking jobs as a technician in a shop. We do have students that have started their own businesses. I don't have specific numbers on how many people have opened their own shops.
Yeah.
But we know it exists. We know that when we one of the cool things is when I'm out in the field, every shop I go into, there's an MMI graduate. Anytime I go around, and sometimes I will go in and see several of my old students or several graduates in any given shop. So they're all over the industry. We have throughout the company, 3 out of 4 technicians that complete our courses go to work directly in the field that they've trained for.
Okay, that's really impressive, actually. Those rates, that's not bad.
And the job market is strong now. The demand for technicians is higher than we've seen it in several years.
Okay, that's good to know.
So that's really promising. We have manufacturers that will travel across the country to come out and hold interviews with our students and people that haven't even graduated yet.
Wow.
And trying to recruit them for positions. We have manufacturers and dealerships that will do Skype interviews. And so our employment department works really, really hard to find people the position in the area that they're looking for when they graduate, and they have really good outcomes.
Wow, that's awesome. When you look at the other numbers, is 54% of undergraduates are underemployed right now in traditional college degrees, and we look at you, which you're saying 75% are getting jobs directly related, and recruiters are flying out to your location to recruit. That's big. As a mechanic, I would feel as though stress relief time. Somebody wants me as opposed to me trying to desperately search for somebody to hire me.
And the transportation industry just continues to grow. The jobs, the forecast for jobs continues to grow, and so the graduates have tremendous opportunities to go out and go to work right in the field doing what they love.
Nice. Are you seeing that most employers are requiring a certification to be able to work on their, or are they hiring? Are they able to hire people and just sort of apprentice them into a role? Do dealerships you have to have a certification in order to work at dealerships?
So some of the manufacturers have incentive programs for their technicians to be certified at certain levels, and sometimes that might be tied to allocations. So a
Okay.
shop may only get a certain amount of sales allocations, depending on their technician's level of training and skills and certifications.
Okay.
So that definitely motivates the shops to hire students that are already certified. As the bikes become more technical and more advanced, just the days of taking someone off the street
Yeah,
and
exactly.
just teaching them, it just becomes more difficult because the amount of hours that a shop has to invest in that
Okay. Okay.
can be really burdensome. And to be able to take a technician out of school that's already at that entry level position, we really our graduates have a huge advantage on someone who has just come in and off the street, maybe worked with dad in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
The hours and hours of hands-on training and all of the technical skills they leave here really give them a leg up on those. Like you say, someone just kind of coming off the street who may have tinkered
Trying
with
to
dad in the
apprentice in.
garage.
Okay. Okay. And then, do you offer any courses specifically helping somebody on the business side of the house? Let's say somebody wants to start up their own shop. Do you guys offer anything like how to start that sort of thing up, or is it basically to get them just the certification to get them hired in the dealership?
We do have courses that deal with kind of the back of the house, as you would say,
Yeah.
and running the service departments and really dealership operations.
Okay.
We actually have a course that is specific to that. Oh, sorry.
Hey, no worries.
I apologize. My battery's getting low here.
No worries. No worries.
So yes, we do have courses that will specifically focus on service management and parts management and all of the other pieces that go into running a shop, aside from just the technical skills and the service department itself.
Yeah, I like working on bikes, therefore I need to open up a shop. Well, I need to know a lot more than just I can turn a wrench really well, That's okay, that's big. That's huge.
Yeah.
And then I guess the final question here is, why would somebody want to get a technical certification from your school versus getting a liberal arts degree?
Well, a skill is something that you have for the rest of your life. If you have a technical skill, you can market that and turn that into a career. A degree in liberal arts is, some people come out of college and say, I got this piece of paper, but I'm not doing what I love or what I really want to do. When you're certified as a technician, it opens so many doors. It just gets your foot in the door in places that you may never be able to go.
Mm-hmm.
I know from my experience that when I left here, my credentials from MMI got me job interviews and got me into positions that I probably never would have had without that training. Just on top of my skill set, what I learned here, and immediately I began to work in the industry that I loved. I almost every year advanced and was able to achieve goals that really I could never even have dreamed of just 4 or 5 years out of school. And I was very driven and very passionate. And if someone has that drive and that passion, this is the place to go. When they leave here, they're going to have the skill set to go out and chase those dreams and achieve those goals. And like I said, the industry is just primed right now. There's so many great opportunities, and technicians are in demand. So, if someone has a love for motorsports and this is something they love to do, it's a great career path.
Nice. Well, Gary, I do appreciate you taking the time, sitting down and talking with us about your program here. For all you guys that are interested in this program, Gary, how can they reach out and contact you and find out more about your program?
They can go directly to mmitech.edu.
Okay.
and find out information, as well as uti.edu. On the web, we have information about our programs, actually specific information about the electives and the manufacturer endorsement. So there's quite a bit of information on the internet.
Okay.
And we also have reps that if they contact a school, the reps can talk to them and really give them specifics about just the whole process from signing up to going to their classes to graduation and job placement. We can really walk them through the whole process of how to get this career started.
All right. Well, again, thanks, Gary, and you have a good day, okay?
James, thanks for your time.
All right. All right, guys. Hopefully this was a good episode for you. If any of you out there are actually interested in becoming motorcycle mechanics, hopefully this was a good episode for you, talking with Gary, talking about how his program really will benefit you, both in terms of providing you with a solid foundation for training and working on bikes, and then also hiring thereafter, starting your own business, etc. So if you liked what you heard, please click below and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want, post comments down in the comment section of any careers that you think would be interesting and you want me to find an interviewee for. So until next time, guys, stay safe. Later.